Hi everyone, I am Donna Reed, and this is Donna Reed Talks Voice, and we're continuing our work with Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
So, what do you have to report this week?
I try to still be very mindful of my speaking voice, which is actually really hard, but like the days that I felt like I could do it, I felt like it helped a lot. And I've experienced that the E's for the head voice at the top are better than the O's still. So yeah.
Hey, great. Now that's a great insight because when you start to warm up or when you start to sing, if you know that the E's are a little bit freer, they're a little bit more comfortable, well, then, obviously warm up with those and use the E's to get your voice going. And then, in fact, I may start that way now that you mentioned that. Then we can get the E to infuse itself maybe a little bit into the ooh and get some of the free qualities of the E into the ooh.
Yeah.
Great, wonderful. So, again, have you exhale, inhale, just get the air flowing. Great. And when you use the E's, do you do the E's just legato? Do you do them staccato?
No, staccato.
Staccato. All
Yeah.
right. So I'll tell you what. Let's start with that, and let's see where we're at. So with an E. And how do those feel?
Like the top one is super breathy, and then I feel like something's grabbing more, like on the way down.
Yeah, see, now that's interesting because you said, oh, the E's are helpful, and I'm not doubting that you are correct. But right now, just starting with the E's, I did one, I did two, I said, hmm. So for whatever reason, right now, today, those E's don't want to work on that staccato as efficiently as you probably have had them work over the past week when you've been working. Fine. Now let me ask you this question. Have you sung at all today, or have you warmed up, or have you used your voice a lot? What's the condition of today?
No, I haven't talked a lot and I haven't sung a lot. I just tested like the chest voice in the morning, like very relaxed how it was doing, and I didn't do more.
Okay, great. So then you're not really warmed up at all.
No.
So that E staccato, obviously for today, is not a good way to warm up. So we're not going to do that. Again, it shows how when one is working on their voice, you have to be very practical and you have to be functional. The functionality is right now, that E is not doing what it needs to do. It's actually working a little bit against you. Functionally speaking, that tells me, no, we don't want to use that E. This really emphasizes, I'm saying this for my listeners because I know you know this, this is really emphasizing the fact that you can't just take a set of exercises and say, oh, these are my exercises forever. This is how I'm going to warm up. I'm going to use one, two, three, four, five. This is going to make it better. This is going to work. This eval that we just explained worked very well on a staccato for you during the week is not working right now. It's so logical and so practical. So why would you repeat that? Why would anybody want to repeat an exercise that doesn't feel good, thinking it's going to make things better? I'm just trying to put logic into people's brains. Okay, now let's see what's going on with the chest voice then. Let's do a ya 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 and see where you're at with that. That one sounds good. How does that feel?
That felt good, felt free.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Little less so there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So these guys are easier, that guy not so much. So I'm going to go drastically the other way. I am going to go to that pure falsetto, that very breathy, breathy, breathy guy. So right there, very breathy. Ooh, ooh. Great. That feels free, right?
Mhm.
Now let me ask you this question. Where do you sense the airflow? Do you sense the airflow in the trachea? Do you sense the airflow forward? Do you sense it? How do you sense it?
Actually, I feel like it doesn't have a straight point. It's just like everything feels very light and breezy.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the throat feels open, right?
Yes.
Great. Then you know what? You just go with that. And let me know if it doesn't feel good.
Mhm.
Great. Did that make you a little lightheaded?
It's fine.
Because sometimes when we do that and we use all of that air and the throat is open, just makes us a little
Yeah, it's
lightheaded.
just
So,
like
so if anybody tries that at home and they get a little lightheaded, don't freak out. Now, let's go back to this one that was a little stuck. Ya, 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 and see what that does.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Still funky, right? Still a little,
Yeah, and
hmm.
it even felt less like the first time we tried it, it felt a bit more like deep down here, and now it felt higher up,
Okay.
as if like the chest voice couldn't grab anymore or something.
Right, 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 right. Okay. I'm going to try an experiment here. We're going to go back to the pure falsetto. I can't see you as closely as I need to see you, especially because it's virtual and I don't want you to stick your face in the camera. So, what I'm going to have you do is I want you to find where your Adam's apple is.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel it, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm gonna have you sing the same ooh. Tell me what happens. Does it go down? Does it go up? Does it go in? Does it not move at all? What happens when you do that breathy ooh? What
It goes,
happens?
it goes down.
It goes down. Yeah, see, that's what's supposed to happen. So my thought was, and the reason I had you do that is, if the pure falsetto is pushing the larynx up, which sometimes it does with some people because the air is being pushed too hard, then that may make it more difficult for this chest voice to relax. But that's not what's happening. This is really interesting. So now why, in separating the registers, did it not help that bottom guy? All right, we're going to do it this way. I'm going to just have you move the back of your tongue and do the, and really get the larynx to move up and down. Do you feel it?
Yeah, but it doesn't move like too much. It's a very like tiny movement.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe what we need to do is see if how much you can get the back of the tongue moving and the larynx going. Again, if you could see with mine.
Yeah, that's bigger.
So it may be, okay, see, this is an interesting point. So it might not be the vocal cords per se, or those cricothyroids not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It could be that, and it's maybe not even the vocal cords themselves not being able to relax. It could be the whole laryngeal area that's a little tight in the chest voice. So by doing the and getting this to move, we can kind of shake it loose and massage it a little bit, see if we could free up that chest voice. So see how much you can get it to move. Just the back of your tongue, no jaw.
Now it gets better.
And it may take a little bit to get it loose. Does it feel like
Yeah.
it's a little stuck?
No, no, it doesn't feel like it's stuck. It's more like if I try to like make a bigger movement, I feel like I tend to force that in some way, and then I feel like it gets tight in other places, and I'm trying to avoid that. So that's
You know, that's interesting. Indulge me here. Um, Make it move, you know, quote unquote, force it for the moment. And obviously, this is not how you're going to sing. This is just an exercise. And even if it feels like it gets tight somewhere else, try that for the moment and then let me know where else it feels like it gets tight. So really make it go up and down for the moment. Is that moving more?
yeah, it's moving more. I feel like the sensation of like getting tight somewhere else while forcing it, it's a bit like if you like try to yawn even if you don't have to, and you like make everything go down, like if you and do that with like too much force, like that sensation.
You know what? And that's okay. Do that for the moment because what I think you're feeling is that the stretching action of the larynx going down, which it wants to go up. And yes, it is a little bit of a manipulation. It is a little bit of a force. But you know what it's like? I believe it's like when you try to stretch your hamstrings. If you're running, you try to stretch your leg, that feels like a force. You know, like if
Yeah.
you're lying down, you're doing yoga and you're trying to get your head to your knee. That's kind of forcing that muscle a little bit, but it's doing a little bit of a stretch. So we're looking for that little bit of a stretch. You feel that?
Yeah.
And it's moving more.
Yeah, it's moving more.
All right, now let's test it
Yeah.
out. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and I'll always admit when I'm completely wrong. But let's see what happens if we try this again. See what it does.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, that certainly was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So that, all right. So we've come across what the basic problem is, that laryngeal, physical laryngeal tension, which happens a little bit in your speaking voice. As you know, it goes a little bit higher and then the larynx pulls in a little bit. And even though you haven't been speaking much today, I could hear in the beginning with your speaking voice that it was a little bit high and it was a little bit doing that. And whenever that happens, this is what gets tight. And that little bit of, and I hate to use the word force, but that little bit of stretching, let's say the stretching action of that is going to help. So I'm going to have you do it again silently. Really, even if you think it's total manipulation, really get that moving. You see, I could even see it a little bit from here, which means it's really moving. Does it feel a little bit like you're gagging, like that?
Yeah, but
That's actually a good thing because again, what that does when we gag, when we yawn, it overstretches, you know, this whole area. Now, the only time we want to do that is if it's tight. If it's not tight, if that's not a person's particular issue, then you don't want to do that. You don't want to overstretch something that doesn't need to be overstretched. So, in your particular case, because the chest voice is a little compromised, that's the reason for it. So that's why we do it. So that little bit of a gaggy feeling is absolutely fine for the moment. Now, after doing that again, let's go back to our guy here. A, I. See what happens.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
See, even a little bit better.
Yeah,
It's a
it
little
feels
scratchy, but it's
freer.
even better. Now I'm wondering, let me try this. Let me add this to the A, ya, 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 ya. Do, do it with an F. Do fe, ya, 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 ya.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Did that help? Did that feel better or worse?
It felt different. It felt less chesty, but I felt like the note in itself was a bit more consistent. Like the other one was more like don't know where to go, and this
Yes.
one is a bit more straightforward.
That's what I heard. So now the reason I added the F is because that adds a little bit of an airflow, which when I heard the A, ya, 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 there was that little bit of that vocal fry. And I thought, well, maybe we need slightly more airflow, although in the chest voice in general, we can't use a lot of airflow. But this is not that low a note. This is the A natural. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought, if you're getting that little vocal fry in the A natural, if it's on the F or the F sharp, it's like, okay, fine, I'm not even worried about it. But if you're getting it on the A natural, then I was thinking maybe a little bit of an airflow needs to happen. So I'm going to try the A flat. You can do the same thing. Fe, ya, 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 ya. See what happens.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, a little bit more compromised, but that one didn't get tight.
No.
Just wasn't quite there. All right, I'm still going to have you do the ya, 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 ya thing again, the silent one. Yeah, see, now I really can see it. It's moving much, much more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does it still feel like you're forcing it, or does it feel a little less forced now that it's moving more?
It feels a little less forced. Maybe I just get used to the sensation, but yeah.
Exactly. Again, it's like stretching whatever muscle we want to stretch. At first it's like, oh man, I really feel that. But then after a while, once it gets stretched, it's a lot easier. So here's a case where, again, where we get a little bit manipulative just to get things moving in a particular direction. But this is very, very tricky. And I really want to emphasize that for my listeners. It's really tricky because you have to know exactly what you're doing if you're going to push it that little bit further. Better to do that under supervision of somebody who really knows what they're doing. I mean, one can experiment at home, of course, but we never know. Well, am I pushing it too far? You know what it's like? It's like going to physical therapy. The physical therapist knows exactly how much to get that muscle to go in a different direction or not. So this is tricky, but you're doing great. Let's go back to the A flat, see where he wants to be. A, I, I, I.
With the F or without the F?
No, I'm sorry, yes, with the F, yes.
Can I get the note again?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, do it without the F.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Still a little tricky. Now we still have the little vocal fry, but, and it's not a singy sound, but it's not shutting down.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm wondering, see, we did that pure falsetto. And the reason I did that is sometimes when you separate the registers, you get that pure falsetto going, the chest voice comes in. But I don't know that that's what we need to do right now, which is why I shifted to this. Okay, I'm going to do it another way. We're going to go to the head voice, and you're going to do goo, goo, goo. Let everything move real hooty. Now those sound very, very good. How do they feel?
They feel good, and I can really feel my tongue moving right now.
Excellent. Oh, that's excellent. All right. I'll tell you what. Instead of a ya 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 ya, we're going to do it this way. Ga ga ga. I'm going to start it higher where it's easy, and then we're going to go lower with it.
Ga 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 ga.
How does that one feel?
Quite chesty actually, and it felt quite deep, like quite low.
Okay. All right.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
All right. We got down to the G, and so we got the A flat that wasn't didn't have that little crackly thing, and then it was there on the G. All right. So we're getting it a little bit lower. All right. Let's go back up here. Let me hear what happens with our E staccato that we started with. And how do those feel?
Much better than in the beginning.
Definitely. It's still a little breathy on the top one,
Yeah.
right? Can you make it a little bit more glottal?
Mhm.
Just think glottal. This may be totally wrong, but let's see what happens. How do those feel?
Weird at first. They were like going everywhere, but they weren't breathy anymore, but still didn't feel tight.
Right. Let's keep the glottal idea. Still feeling okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to try something here. Oh, I almost don't even have a logical reason for it, except my instinct says give this a try. We're going to take this E, and I want to see how it goes into a chest voice. Now, because it's an E vowel and because it's a staccato, it's going to be a very different chest voice than we've had before. See where it goes, this glottal idea all the way down. Good. I'm going to give you one thought with this one. As it goes down, obviously it feels like it's going down, right?
Yeah.
Think up as you go down. Don't go with the sensation. See what happens if you go, think it's, just think up as you go down. All right, bad idea. Go back to the other one. Yeah. All right. And how did those feel on the bottom?
They felt fine. I mean, the last one was shutting down then, but they felt like fine, not restricted, nothing.
Okay, let's go back to the ga ga ga's and see what that does.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Not quite as easy, right?
No.
Do it again. Watch your ah, because that was a little
Mhm.
What happens if you do a real very broad, ga, 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 like that?
Ga 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 ga.
There we go.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
All right, now we got a half step lower. That's the G again. See, because what I noticed with the ga, 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 again, that slightly rounded ah is not going to get you the chest voice. It's going to infuse a little bit of that head voice in the chest voice because it's a rounder vowel. So that's why we got a little funky on the A and then the A flat. But with the broader ah, which is much more horizontal this way, got a little bit more chest voice going. And those felt okay, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where we're at, and we're going to do this. Let's do it here. Do just an ah, let it fly, see what happens. Careful on the way down, because that, I'm assuming, is going to be easy peasy. Here, we're going to go into some kind of a chest voice. Watch your ah. It's going to be obviously soprano on the top, but then as you get down to the bottom, make sure the ah broadens up a little bit.
Mhm.
So give it a shot, breathe and sing. Well, not bad. Didn't vibrate. Did it feel like it was shutting down?
No.
No. I'm going to keep trying this and see where it goes. And again, watch that bottom ah is ah, ah, ah. It's almost like it goes ah, 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 ah. And it does that as you go down.
All right.
Again, not bad. Now, what did you notice on the bottom note?
Well, that one was it didn't feel like super chesty and it shut down like quite fast, so I felt like it couldn't really fall into its place.
Relax into the bottom.
Yeah.
How did all of the other notes feel? They sounded great.
They felt good. There was like, I don't know, maybe like the third from the bottom where I felt like it switched into a more chestier quality, but
Okay.
all of them felt good.
Okay, great. So we're going to do this. Stop on that one.
All right.
And that one's fine, right?
Yep.
All right, tell you what we're going to do. And you'll stop on that one. One more.
Oh, one more. Yeah.
Yeah. And how does that feel?
That felt really good.
Good, 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 good. How about that one?
Felt still good.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to go lower than that for the moment, and I'm going to try one more thing here. I want to see what happens. Do a solid ah, not loud, but firm, solid, piano on top, and then back down with a little baby crescendo. So ah, piano, and then back down.
And like jump up or like
Jump the octave, yeah. Now, was it difficult to do the piano on top?
I felt like it was breathy. It wasn't difficult. It was free, but it was like breathy at first, and then it needed to find its place.
Okay, do it again. Over open your mouth. Let it be breathy if it
Hmm.
wants to be. Don't try to fix it. So a little bit over opening for the moment.
No,
From and piano on top.
no, no. What was the fastest? All right.
And how did that one feel on top? Better, right?
Yeah, it felt
Yeah.
like totally free.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a break going from there to there, but that's all right. Great. Same thing here. Again, you just need from here to here. There could be a break. Don't worry about that. Over open your mouth. Don't change it. If it's breathy, let it be breathy. Just a strong rhythmic swing.
No, piano.
A little trickier, that one.
Yeah, but it still felt free.
Okay. We'll go one more. Okay. See that, I think, I'm believing that that up there is related to this down here. Because when you go up there and it's piano, uh, Cornelius, my late husband, used to call it a bracing chest voice. So when it's piano up there, the vocal cords have to come together in a particular way. And when they come together closely, that's chest voice participation. And when they come together efficiently up there and it's not breathy, that's what he would call a bracing chest voice. And it's the chest voice down here that is slightly compromised. And that's why when we got to the F sharp and the G, it was a little bit on that breathy side. I didn't mind a little breathy on the F, but then as we went higher, didn't have the closing action. But it didn't feel tight. So we just need again to get that may be another way to try to approach getting this chest voice down here. But let's test it out. Go back to the ga ga ga, and I'm going to start on the low one. See where he is at.
Ga 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 ga.
All right. Did you? And that was the A flat. What I liked about that, did you hear the little vibrato coming through?
Yeah.
Almost like a little tremolo. That's good. That's a release of tension. I'm
Mhm.
going to have you do it again. If that little tremolo guy wants to come through, you just let him do his thing.
Ga 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 ga.
And that was different. Now, what did you notice differently with that one? Was there a
Um,
different approach? Did you have a different thought?
well, I thought about the other one, and then I felt like this one was it I mean, it didn't feel tight, but it felt not as free as the one before. It was a bit more like, I don't know, maybe like because you want it to be like the one before or something. It wasn't as free as the one before.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you try to quote unquote put it in the same place?
Not really, but I think I did a bit, yeah.
Fair enough, because what happens is once we experience something and it's freer, we try to make it feel the same way. So I'm going to have you do it again.
Mhm.
Know that you don't know how it's going to feel. So it may have that same deep, free feeling. It may not. But the thing is, usually when we go for the sensation, then it doesn't work. So just go for the setup. The setup is Those are the three notes, and you're doing ga, ga, ga. It may work, it may not work. See what happens.
Ga 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 ga.
And then, fair enough, that was what happened last time. It didn't do that same thing. All right. Well, all I can say is it's still a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
The important thing is during the week you say that you feel less fatigue with your voice, right?
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing right now. So we want to get it so that no matter where we're at, there's less fatigue on your voice. And again, and your voice works so well in the upper part of your voice. You could hear when we did these high notes, how nicely they sounded, all of that. But this little guy is tricky down here. So, we're just going to keep nudging away at it and keep, working out the problem. And again, it shows that, oh, this can definitely be fixed, but it shows that sometimes we just have to be patient. I mean, this is only, which session? I think this is maybe the 7th time, so, it just takes some time. We just have to be patient. And it's a real good lesson in patience, which, of course, especially today, nobody has.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And I will see you next time.
Yeah. Until then.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Donna Reed Talks Voice. If you have any questions for me about this episode, or if you'd like to join me on a future episode, please visit donnareedtv.com and click Contact.